You are out there working 12-hour shifts, saving lives, and giving everything you have to your patients. But when you finally get home and look at your bank account, your student loans, or your retirement plan, you're left wondering, am I doing this right? Well, today, we are throwing out the generic advice and tackling your exact financial struggles head-on. Welcome back to Nurse Money. Today's explainer is a really special one because, well, we're flipping the script. Instead of just focusing on a single financial topic, we're focusing entirely on you. I am so thrilled to bring you honest, incredibly practical, and entirely non-generic responses to the absolute most pressing financial questions that you, our hardworking nurses, are facing out there right now. We're breaking down the exact source material from the most frequent financial questions flooding in from healthcare workers across the United States. You know, ever since we started exploring the world of healthcare personal finance together, the comments have just been absolutely incredible. We're talking real questions from real nurses dealing with very real money situations. And you know what? There are no textbook answers today. There is zero generic cookie-cutter advice coming your way. We are pulling practical, actionable solutions straight from real comments. I've selected the 7 questions that came up the most, and they cover the whole shebang, everything from student loans and travel nursing, all the way to investing and budgeting. If you've ever tossed and turned at night wondering about any of these things, this explainer was made specifically for you. Okay, let's dive right into this. Section 1, Navigating Debt. This is our first question, and I literally see this one all the time. I work at a for-profit hospital. Are there any loan forgiveness options for me? It's a fantastic question. So the honest, direct answer based on the rules is that the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program, or PSLF, specifically requires a nonprofit or government employer. So a for-profit hospital directly, that doesn't qualify. But hey, please don't get discouraged because you are definitely not out of options. First off, you really need to check if your hospital has any nonprofit affiliates or sister facilities within that same healthcare system, because working on the nonprofit side of that system could actually qualify you. Second, remember that income-driven repayment, or IDR forgiveness, is available to everyone, regardless of where you work. After 20 to 25 years of payments on an IDR plan, your remaining balance is wiped clean. It takes longer, yeah, for sure, but it is a real safety net. And third, if forgiveness just isn't in the cards for you, we look toward aggressive payoff strategies where you can become completely debt-free in 3 to 5 years without waiting on any government program. Moving on to question 2, which brings us to a situation that feels, frankly, incredibly overwhelming. I just graduated with $80,000 in student loans. I feel completely overwhelmed. Where do I start? First of all, I want you to just take a breath. Seriously, looking at that massive number on a screen can totally induce panic. But $80,000 is a lot, yes. However, it is absolutely manageable on a nursing salary. You just need a game plan. So here is your exact starting order of operations. Step 1, you must log into studentaid.gov. You have to know exactly what you owe, what type of loans you actually have, and what those specific interest rates are. Get it all down on paper. Step 2, apply for an income-driven repayment plan immediately. This lowers your required monthly payment and buys you incredible flexibility while you're just getting on your feet. Step 3, if you do work at a nonprofit, certify your employment for PSLF right now. Start that clock running, even if you aren't sure you're going to stay at that facility forever. And step 4, this is absolutely crucial. Build a $1,000 emergency cash fund before you pay a single extra penny on those loans. This ensures you never have to swipe a high-interest credit card when a tire blows out or, life just happens. Remember, take it one step at a time. You do not have to solve an $80,000 problem in one single day. All right, moving to question number 3. I have $12,000 in credit card debt at 22% interest, and I have $60,000 in student loans at 5%. Which do I tackle first? Let me be as clear as possible here. You tackle the credit cards, without question, every single time. 22%. At 22% interest, your credit card debt is a literal financial emergency. It is growing faster than almost any investment in the world will ever return to you. Every single month that you carry a balance at this rate, you are losing money at an alarming, devastating pace. It's like a massive leak in your financial boat, and it has to be plugged immediately. So the strategy here is super focused. On your student loans, you are going to pay the absolute bare minimum for now. Do not send them an extra dime. Instead, take every single extra dollar you can possibly find in your budget and throw it aggressively at those credit cards until that balance hits zero. Once those cards are finally cleared out, you can then redirect all that powerful cash flow back toward your student loans. And a quick word to the wise. Once those cards are paid off, never ever use them again unless you can pay the full balance every single month. They are a devastating trap if you carry a balance. Section 2, Tax Rules for Travelers. Question 4 comes to us from the road. I travel full-time and I literally live out of my suitcase. Do I really need to maintain a tax home? I get this all the time. And the answer is firmly yes. Absolutely. This is not a gray area. This is not optional if you want to legally receive those highly lucrative tax-free stipends. Understanding what the IRS actually demands is so crucial here. The IRS requires that your travel assignment be temporary in nature, meaning you must have a permanent tax home that you are traveling away from. If you don't have a tax home, no permanent address, no rent, no mortgage, literally nothing tying you to a geographic base, the IRS can swoop right in and classify all of your stipends as taxable income. Ouch. But listen, a tax home doesn't have to be some fancy house. It can simply be a room you rent at a family member's house as long as you're paying fair market rent, you have documentation, and you maintain it. It just has to be real and it has to be documented. Let's shift gears now to Section 3, Wealth Building. Question 5 brings us to one of the most classic debates in personal finance. Should I pay off my student loans first, or should I start investing? You will hear a million different opinions on this, but mathematically speaking, the answer entirely depends on one specific thing: your interest rates. So here is the general rule of thumb based on the data. If your student loans are sitting at an interest rate below 6%, it generally makes mathematical sense to invest and pay your loans simultaneously. Why? Well, because the stock market historically returns around 7 to 8% annually. That means your money is actually working harder for you in the market than the interest is working against you on the loan. However, if your loans are above 6% interest, you really want to focus on paying those off aggressively first, guaranteeing yourself a high return by eliminating that debt and then pivoting to investing. But listen closely, because there is one major exception to all of this. Always, always contribute enough to your hospital's 403B to capture your full employer match. That match is literally a 50 to 100% instant return on your money. Nothing beats it. Never leave that free money on the table. Which leads perfectly into question 6. Can I contribute to both a Roth IRA and my hospital's 403B at the exact same time? I absolutely love this question, and I am enthusiastically confirming that yes, absolutely you can, and you absolutely should. You see, these are completely separate buckets for your money. Your 403B through your employer has an annual contribution limit of $23,000 per year. Meanwhile, your personal Roth IRA has a completely separate limit of $7,000 per year. Contributing to one does not penalize or reduce what you are legally allowed to put into the other. You can utilize both of these incredibly powerful tools simultaneously. And this brilliantly illustrates the ideal order of operations for a nurse looking to maximize their investments. Priority number 1, go to your 403B and contribute just enough to get that full employer match. Like we said, get the free money. Priority number 2, pivot over to your personal Roth IRA and try to max that out up to the $7,000 limit, because that money grows tax-free forever. Priority number 3, if you still have extra income you want to invest after doing those two things, go back to your 403B and continue adding funds up to that $23,000 limit. It's a perfect step-by-step roadmap to building wealth. Now, question 7 is a deeply personal one for a lot of folks. The stock market terrifies me. What if I invest and I lose everything? First off, I want to validate that fear. It is one of the most understandable, normal fears in all of personal finance. But I also want to tell you that this fear usually stems from a misunderstanding of how long-term investing actually functions in the real world. Let's just look at the facts. You will not lose everything if you are invested in a diversified index fund. Yes, the market goes down, sometimes by a lot. I mean, in 2008, the market dropped almost 50%. It was terrifying, but it recovered. Historically, it has always recovered. And the investors who didn't panic, who stayed in and kept consistently contributing, they came out way ahead. The real danger here isn't a temporary market drop. The real danger is inflation, quietly and visibly destroying the purchasing power of your cash over a 30-year career. So start small, open a simple S&P 500 index fund inside your Roth IRA, set it to automatically invest a small amount every single month, and promise yourself not to even look at it for 6 months. Break the fear barrier with action. All right, we are rounding out with Section 4, your next action step. Look, I am a huge believer in the one action philosophy. I do not want you leaving this explainer feeling overwhelmed with some massive to-do list. Financial progress is simply about doing the next right thing consistently. So I urge you right now,
Pick just one concrete action from everything we discussed today. Did the student loan talk resonate with you? Then your one action is logging into studentaid.gov this week. Did the investing talk hit home? Then your one action is finally opening that Roth IRA. Pick one thing and execute it this week. That is how you take control.
We've covered some major topics today, but I know personal finance is a constant journey, and your specific situation is incredibly unique.
This entire explainer was built directly from your inquiries. If you found this breakdown helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you never miss out on these insights. Next time, we'll be walking through a highly realistic, full financial plan for a nurse making $60,000 a year. It's going to be great. But before we go, I have to ask, what is your biggest finance question? The one keeping you up at night? The one you just can't seem to find a straight answer to? Drop it in the comments below and let's figure it out together. See you next time.